Hello and good morning. Not morning because, I don't know what time you're watching this, but this is Emoria. I'm an artist, and on this channel, what you'll be seeing for the most part is going to be speed paints, possibly tutorials. Um, I really like to work with cyberpunk and stuff like that, and I also have other things that I like to draw as well, just like anybody else would. This is my first video, first time doing a voiceover, so please forgive me if it's not the best thing on the planet. But what I'm doing right here is I'm just kind of shading in that hose right there. This was not the best painting. I did it in about an hour and a half, but I was just trying to see how fast I could do it. The content to come will be much different, per se, because it'll be my longer term projects. Once again, I'm just shading in this hose because it's pretty neat looking, I guess. And this character design is based on Shadowrun from the Shadowrun Returns game. She's an elf decker. So what she does is she hacks into matrices and kind of works against what's going on. And I have a really rough time sketching on PC. So what you'll see me do most of the time is trace my own sketch or paint over my own sketch. And just until I get more used to how to sketch on PC. I'm typically a traditional artist and I am transitioning at the moment. But here we are just shading in that ear and making it have some depth to it. And adding some earrings as well, because I don't know, whenever I think of a cyberpunk elf, I think of a crap ton of earrings for absolutely no reason. And then we're going in and fixing that skin and just working with all of the skin areas, because I usually like to do that before I work with the clothing, and we're just kind of adding layers as I go along, just to make sure that she looks absolutely perfect. And here we are again, just shading in that arm and making sure that we have light reflecting, because I wanted that hose to glow and I wanted the hair to glow as well. As you can see from the sketch, you can see where it's shining on her. And she does end up getting redraws in the future because I was not completely happy with this drawing. This is just something that I did very quickly just to kind of get the idea onto paper. So what I'm doing is now I'm working with the clothing. And at the time, I did not know how to use the other kind of lasso tools, so I was just going in and using the one that you have to draw on there. I don't actually know the names of the tools. I am that kind of new. I don't know the names of the tools. Don't at me. Don't ask me what they are. And here I am just once again going in on that unitard, because once you see the full image, because I have recorded a speed draw for the full body of the full character design, so that one looks very interesting, and she's actually in an environment for that one. Right here we're just still going in on that unitard, making her look absolutely amazing before we go in on that chest plate, because I don't know, for me, I want to work on the clothes in the order that they would be put on. So that's why I go skin, clothing, and then armor or accessories. The only reason I did the mask first was because it felt like it was the easiest to start with. And here I am going in on the chest plate, because that's going to, since it's made out of metal, it's going to require quite a bit of reflecting. So we're going in, we're shading with a kind of blue-gray, because the entire atmosphere is very blue and very green, very cool colors. So we're going in shading with those and kind of going on that. Why didn't I blend? I don't know why I didn't blend. I feel like I should have blended at that stage. Obviously, this was filmed about a week ago or so, and I've progressed since then because I've been trying to draw every single day so that I can get to a point where I'm happier with my work. And so far the progress has come very far from here. Here she is just shading in that little tube cover clasp thing that kind of holds it to her close so that the tube's not in the way. And then I went in and did her hair pretty much last. Did I seriously? And there I'm going in and doing her hair and just kind of going around where the locks are because I wanted her to have glowing green locks. So we went in with that, and I kind of did the base layer of the neon and then went over it with the different shading colors that I wanted going vertically and not blending, because whenever I think of the locks, I don't really want the texture to go away. I don't want it to be smooth like I would if it was straight hair. I'm just kind of going in with the half opacity and defining each and every one of those rows. That way they're all significantly defined. That way you can tell that they're separate locks. And once again, going in with a slightly darker color and just defining those areas a little bit more just to make sure that they all stand apart from each other. And then going in on the braid that's across the crown of her head. And also on, well, actually no, this was not for the braid on the crown of her head. This was for the locks that are in back. So I went in and did those next, and then I did the braid last, because with the braid I just wanted it to be I wanted it to kind of stand out from the rest of the hair, just so you would be able to actually tell that there was a braid there. And then once again, just going in and defining those areas and making sure that you can tell that there are multiple locks and not just a big mass of hair. So going in with that darker color and fixing it to where it looks the way I wanted it to. I take it back. I think I am happy with this picture. Yeah, I am happy with it. I thought I wasn't at first, but I am. I liked the sketch a lot, and the sketch actually inspired me to draw several other pictures of this character, and I really do enjoy this character. I think she's pretty cool. I don't have a name for her yet, though, so if y'all want to drop a name in the comments, that'd be cool. She could definitely use a name. Maybe like Valencia or something. I don't know. But she's from the far future in a dystopian society. Why is it always a dystopian society? I feel like it's always a dystopian society. And here I am just going in on her hair, working around her decker board. The decker board is actually like a, well, since Shadowrun was originally made in the 80s, the idea of hacking into the Matrix for deckers was to carry around a keyboard. So a decker board is literally just a keyboard with a fancy design that kind of reminds you of those weird guitars from the 80s. So a decker board is literally just a keyboard that the character will carry around with them. And it's very nostalgic feeling because obviously our idea of hacking is not like that anymore. Like, you would just use the keyboard that's currently existing at the station. You wouldn't carry your own with you. But the idea of it's very cool there. So I went in and started shading and defining that keyboard. That way it looked really nicely. We're going to call it a decker board because that sounds cooler than saying, oh, my character just carries around her own keyboard. Like she's way too good to use the keyboard that is there at the place that she's hacking into. And then I added some glow to her. Because once again, I did want her to glow a little bit because I wanted that hair to have that glowiness, and I also wanted the mask to have it. So I went in and did that glow on there. And just made it look decently pretty. In the future versions, I didn't do it quite as much. I kind of killed the glow a little bit. And then here we are just kind of shading and adding some definition to that tube, because even with glow there's always going to be some kind of definition, and I was using the dodge tool or the burn tool to do this, just to kind of add some definition to certain areas and make it a little bit more shaded. So I was going in and kind of defining where that decker board is, just to kind of add some more shade and make it look like it's glowing from behind. And then also going in and using the burn tool to kind of darken the colors a little bit on the hose. And kind of define those sections a little bit more. And also going through and burning all of the areas that looked like they could use a little bit more definition in the final product since there was that glow going on. And I also killed the glow down a bit and cropped the image because I didn't want the whole thing to be awkward, and I went ahead and signed it. And then here we are putting the gradient map on there just to add some shadow and kind of allow what was going on to kind of shine. And I did experiment with a few different colors and ultimately decided to stick with the black because it just looked the best. And here I am just playing with a couple of different ideas on how to make the eye look cool, and I hated both of these, so you'll see what I did in a second. I thought about doing sparkles, but I don't feel like this is a sparkle character. She doesn't look like she would wear the sparkles. And I was messing around with some different brushes and such. And here we are just going in with I guess this is like a crackle tool, and I added like a little crackle to the hose just to make it look like I had the crack. And she's like, oh no, I cracked my gas mask. And she's got like some electricity coming from her eyes. And then playing with some filters to kind of mess with the colors and make them look the way I wanted them to. Kind of enhancing certain colors to enforce that cool tone that's over the entire composition. And then allowing it to glow. And just making it look super cute. Super, super cute. And then, what else did I do? Oh yeah, here's the final image. I thought it looked pretty good.